Welcome to Joy of Business Radio, hosted by Joy of Business Facilitators from around the world, with special shows from Simone Milasas, the founder and creator of Joy of Business. Are you bored or dissatisfied with your work or business? Joy of Business is an invitation to a completely new way of creating. Did you know your business and job can actually be fun and joyful? If what you are currently doing isn't working for you, listen into this show full of pragmatic tools from Access Consciousness, which change everything in business, from money to finance, staff, creativity, productivity, communication, and beyond. Joy of Business Radio, weekly on OMTimes Radio.
This is Maggie Schlarb, Joy Business Facilitator on OMTimes Joy Business Radio. And today I'm here to talk to you about, are you an adventurous entrepreneur, and what that means and what the elements are to that. So we're going to start with the first part of being an adventurous entrepreneur is all about curiosity. It's all about being kind of like a cat and exploring every little nook and cranny of a yard. Yet this is your business as the adventure. So how do you do that? You start asking questions that create even more in your business. And how do you do that? You start about looking at your business as what is possible here that I've never considered. And what would my business like to be that I've never even considered? So in this moment, if you own a business or if you even have a life, you're in business. Simone Milasas, founder of Joy Business, always says, if you wake up in the morning and you've got blood running through your veins, you are in business. So if you have woken up in the morning, you're listening to this, you're in business. So take a look at your life and living right now. What is it like? What does it bring up for you? Is it joyous? Is it fun? Or is it time to start asking some more questions as to what it is you'd like to create beyond what is now? That's not to say that something is wrong with it now. It's like, what would you like to explore even further? So some of the questions you can start to use to invoke even more curiosity is look at the different systems in your business and your life. Well, what systems do you need to put in place so that when you go out in your day-to-day business and life, that make it easy for you? There's something called being aware of your future. So when you're on an adventure, just say, and I'll use my example of 3 years ago, myself and my son and his father all went out on an adventure for a cycle tour for 5 months around New Zealand. Now, we are all very curious about how this would turn out, taking a 2-year-old on an adventure. That's a feat that I highly recommend, actually. And so the curiosity of it was every day we actually didn't have a set plan, but we knew our destination. We knew that we were circumnavigating the South Island of New Zealand. So we got curious. Every day we opened up our book and we saw there were different choices that we had. We had the choice of going on a short route. We had the choice of going on a medium-sized ride. And some days we just had a choice of there was A to B, and that's all the choice we had. But we got curious every day. We checked in with our bodies. We checked in with how much energy we had. Also, we checked in with how much food we had, and if that destination actually had a grocery store, if we needed food, we would go there. And if not, we would buy the food before we set out on our adventure for the day. And then throughout each adventure, we kept on getting curious. Okay, well, what's around the next corner? And then we'd come around the next corner, and then there'd be these glorious mountains, and also go into the mountains. And then we'd come around the next corner, and there'd be a lake. And what if that's what business was like? It was like you knew where your business was headed, yet you didn't always know what gift and surprise was around the corner by the choices you made. And how much fun can you have going on an adventure? Now I'm going to take a pause right here and actually talk about adventure. What is adventure, and what is adventure to you? Adventure in a pre-1939 dictionary actually talks about it being wander, travel, seek adventure, happen by chance. The definition of adventurer is also underneath this. It's actually from Edom Online. It says, one who plays at games of chance. And I would say my definition of adventurer is one who plays at games of choice. And so each part of your day, whether you're working on the finances of your business, or you're working with the clients, or you're working on the systems and structures, what would it be like if you got to play with every choice you made and you got curious as to what that choice was going to create? Again, here comes the curiosity. So, how does that land on you? Take a moment and reflect. How curious can you be about what's around the next corner of your business? So the next piece I wanted to gift to you about adventuring in business is having a heightened awareness of your environment and where to be and when. So some people call it luck. I actually invite you to step into your intuition and knowing. Now, the Joy of Business tools come from Access Consciousness. And Access Consciousness is all about empowering people to know that you know. And the greatest gift you can have with business is following your intuition. There are so many formulas, programs, systems that you can go to and learn from. And I say those are wonderful. Go check them out and then use your intuition to see what works for you. Because if there's a task that you are doing, if there's an element of your work in your business that you're doing, and you get a sense of a weightiness that's stopping you from doing it, check in and see what your knowing is telling you. Maybe you don't have to do exactly things the way exactly someone else has done them, and you get to pick and choose the pieces that work for you. Similar to adventure, right? It's like choose your own adventure through your business. Does it work for you to follow someone else's systems and structures, or does it work for you to learn what they know, learn what works for them, and then extrapolate for what's going to work for you? And let it be a play. Let it be as if you were 5 again, yet you have this knowing as an adult, and you will be a successful entrepreneur, business owner, or working your job. But allow it to be a play of what is it that will create this in the way that will be the most efficient and elegant, so that this can come and grow and be a business or a project or an offering that is far more wildly successful than you can possibly imagine. Yes, and that may sound lofty, and yet it is possible. So, with your heightened awareness of your environment, where to be and when, coming back to that, is knowing that, following your intuition. Is there places, starting to ask the questions, where can I work today? If you're if you work out of your home, or to say you have a business, but you have some space away from the day-to-day of being on your computer or perhaps being with clients, ask yourself, where can I go and work today? Where can I go and be and sit and be that will grow my business? So you might be surprised, popping into different coffee shops, different work environments. Lots of towns these days have communal offices that you can go and you can pay a fee and work with them. Where can you go that might actually grow your business just by your very presence? And then follow that knowing. I know for me, I often will look at if it's time to get out of my house and I don't have clients to be with and I just need to get some computer work done, I will go ahead and just look at which coffee shop am I going to go play at today. And the beautiful thing about that is whatever coffee shop I end up choosing that day, and I truly do follow that instantaneous, oh, this one would be fun, there is always someone there either to talk to or that I've been thinking about or is curious what I'm up to just by my very presence and my clickety-clack on the computer that has a tap of joy of it in it, thanks to the Joy of Business. Now, what's coming to mind with you now? Are you ready to take your business on an adventure? And maybe it's just an adventure of going to the coffee shop, or maybe it's something different. And so here's the other piece of having a heightened awareness of your environment and where to be. We're talking about being aware of what your future possibilities are while being present. So it's setting your life and your business up to work for you. And what that is it's knowing where you want to go and having the things in place to allow you to be where you need to be and following that. So here's some questions as to what you can start asking, inviting in the curiosity to your awareness as to what you already know about business that perhaps you haven't acknowledged you know yet. Those questions are, well, first of all, how does it get better than this? When anything and everything shows up in your business, whether you see it as good, bad, right, or wrong, invite in the possibility of something being better than it already is. Simply ask, how does it get better than this? An employee is late for work. How does it get better than that? They happen to bring you coffee or something. Who knows what will show up? Some bill didn't get paid. How does it get better than that? A new client shows up. How does it get better than that? A class overfills. How does it get even better than that? And then you add the question of, well, what else is possible here? Again, a client is late for work. Well, what else is possible here? And I'll tell you more after the break.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
More than 24 million Americans have an autoimmune disorder, and that number continues to grow. I'm Sharon Saylor, and I'm one of those 24 million. To put that number in perspective, cancer affects about 9 million and heart disease up to 22 million. That's why I've brought together top experts and those thriving regardless of their diagnosis to bring you the latest, most up-to-date information. Join me, Sharon Saylor, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the Autoimmune Hour on Life Interrupted Radio to find out how to live your life uninterrupted.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi there, and welcome back to the Joy of Business radio show on OMTimes Radio. I'm Maggie Schlarb, the Joy of Business Facilitator, and I'm here talking about, are you an adventurous entrepreneur? And what we left off with the break was asking the question of what else is possible. And this is an adventurous question in itself. So when I invite you for the next 5 days, from now until the next 5 days, you can quit after that, or perhaps even take today. And for everything that shows up in your life, for every occurrence, for every creation, ask what else is possible here and see what adventure shows up. So whether you're at the grocery store and something was discounted, what else is possible here? Your business partner is late for work. What else is possible here? And keep asking that question and stay in the curiosity of what can show up when you're willing to be curious and you're also willing to let go of the control of how you think something should show up or what your initial reaction is. Get out of that autoresponder and into this beautiful flow of adventure that is available when you let go. How does it get any better than that? So the next piece I have for you is all about self-empowerment. Now, for me, when I went on this crazy, amazing, terrifying adventure of cyclotouring the South Island while toting my 2-year-old behind me, well, to say the least, I was definitely scared, worried, and my family, friends that we were leaving behind, so to say, but were not coming with us, were really quite concerned as well. So how do you move through stuff like that? How do you shift through the next level of your business? But it's like the fear of, well, what if I fail? And the greatest fear, well, what if I succeed? So in this adventure of cycle touring, I knew I had to be there. So number one, follow your knowing, as we've discussed earlier on the show. And keep going with what you know, but keep filling yourself up with that self-empowerment chatter in your head. If there's going to be any chatter in your head, make sure it's positive, make sure it's kind, and make sure it creates the future that you would like to have. Because your thoughts can create your reality, and when you actually get out of your thoughts and out of your mind into the space of awareness, you will create far greater than what your mind can conjure up. And how do you do that on an adventure? Well, back to the cycle tour, I remember when we first started, and we didn't do a lot of training. It was a cycle tour, but life leading up to this adventure was an adventure in itself, and not one that allotted a lot of time to do the cycling that one would think one would have to do before venturing off to cycle every single day for 5 months. So when we first started off on our tour, we left on a rainy day, and I have this beautiful picture of us leaving that is this, it says 100 kilometers per hour, and off we go on our bikes. It's raining, and off we go. And it's like, here's now or nothing. And as we began pedaling, I could feel this fear and this gut-wrenching kind of like, oh dear, did I do the right thing? And yet there was a heaviness to that. And what I knew is that I was there for the experience. It didn't matter if it was raining. It didn't matter if the next day we decided, you know what, we're just going to end our adventure and not be there for the time. It just meant moment by moment we took that time to be on the adventure and be in the moment. And so what I had to quickly do, because it wasn't easy at first, I had a 2-year-old behind me, and then his dad had a lot of the heavy weight to make up for the difference of me pulling our son behind us. And so with that, what occurred was I had to get in the moment. I had to put one pedal cycle in front of the other and keep going. Now, where can you start doing more of that in your business? One cycle stroke in front of the other, one step in front of the other. Because most likely, if you're anywhere stuck in your business and you want to give up, if that's in your world at all, it's that next step, the next 2 steps, the next 2 cycles are going to get you to where you want to be. And it might feel so heavy, what you're telling yourself right now. So flip what you're telling yourself, empower yourself, and inspire yourself to inspire others, and keep going. No matter where you are, never give in, never give up, and never quit. Keep the adventure of business going in your life, no matter what. And make sure there's room for play. Make sure there is definite room for play. So how do you add play into your life? Are you allowed to play? Are you allowed to adventure? Is that even allowed in your world? Or do you have to work hard and then stop work and play hard? What if that wasn't the case? What if every moment of your day could be that play, that energy of expansion, the energy of joy, so that even when Friday, if you work on Monday to Friday, which most of us joy business facilitators do not, we have so much joy of business that we don't actually need to pause and play. It actually is the joy of our life. And sometimes that means working on the computer. Sometimes that means a hike in the park or whatnot. But what if when Friday comes, it wasn't this sigh of relief. It was just, okay, it's Friday. What would I like to create now? What adventure can I go on? And tune in to that incredible awareness that you have, that you were gifted with, that is there, whether you know it or not. You get to have that and follow that. And when you follow that from a space of empowerment, from a space of knowing what you know and being curious about what's around the next corner, you can and you will create a business and a life that some people might be envious of. And not that you're looking for that. And it's like, what would you like your life and living to be? What would you like it to be? What did you get into business for? Are you in business just for the money? Are you in business for the adventure? Are you in business to achieve something? Are you in business because you were gifted a business from your family? Discover the reason you're in business, and then what can you create from there? How many places and spaces can you go and create the world a better place just by your choice to have the joy of business? And a little side note here, well, what is the joy of business? Some of you listeners may have heard the radio show for a while, and you get the sense of what joy of business, but what is the joy of business? The joy of business is really all about the adventure of living and being in the curiosity, just as adventure is. Also, you don't have to have the joy of business to tap into the joy of business. It really is looking at business from a pragmatic point of view, pragmatic perspective, so that you can have more ease, put out less work effort, but get more productivity out of it. Did you hear that? You can have more ease, less effort, more productivity. How does it get better than that? I'm not sure, but I'm willing to find out. So here's what I invite you to do. Before we hop, I think actually we're going to hop on the next break relatively shortly. Let's do an exercise here. I'm going to take you on an exercise of getting the energy. We're specifically going to look at business and business as an adventure, and what adventure would you like to go on with your business? So if you haven't played with energy before, really it's those sensations and those waves of different sensations. And I want to say energy, but just tap in, let your body show you, and you'll get, like, sometimes you say, here's an example. If a friend of yours you haven't seen in a while comes to your front door, there's an energy, perhaps enthusiasm that comes. You get a check in the mail, there's an energy that comes. You get a bill in the mail that might be bigger than you thought it was. There's an energy that comes. So we're going to tap into different energies. You may not want to tap into the energy of a bigger bill than you would like, and it's up to you. So the exercise we're going to do is I invite you to just get the energy of what it is you'd like your business to be. Right? Get the energy. There doesn't need to be details. There doesn't need to be the A to B. Get the energy. And this is how you create, how we can create, one of the ways to create with the Joy Business and a tool we show you. And get all those energies. And maybe it's time off with your family. Maybe it's waking up in the morning and being so excited for work, you can hardly wait to get on the computer or get on a phone call. Pull in those energies. Maybe it's having an office that has a balcony with a view. And I know I'm giving you details, and tap into the energies of those. And if they match, pull them into your space. Now get the energy of the types of people you'd like to work with, the conversations you'd like to have, the amount of money you'd like to make. Get the energy of that. And you can put it around you, get the energy. So my guess is, and the way I sense it in my body, and it may be different for yours, is that I get this kind of like the cells in my body light up like they're smiling, they're smiley faces. And then around me, I can perceive the energy like it's floating around me. And so get that energy and turn up the volume of the energy. And turn it up and turn it up and turn it up. Okay, and now with that energy, start to ask the questions. Okay, well, what would it take for that to show up? And here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to know the details. There's this grand thing called the universe, and it happens to have your back, and it happens to have your universes. It happens to have your business's back. This grand universe, when you ask for that and you can perceive that energy, you can pull it in. And that is one of the adventures of the Joy Business, is that this can be easy. When you know what it is that you're asking for, you can draw it in with ease. And then you start asking more questions. you can ask the question, okay, what do I need to be or do today to bring this to fruition right away? And then you pause. And it might not be a long pause. It might be a very short pause. It depends. And you get, okay, cool. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go hang flyers. And then you can ask the question, okay, next, what project of mine, what element of my business requires my attention today or in this moment? And you'll get a hit. Oh, okay, it's that class, or it's that employee might need a little cheering up. Who knows? And then you keep asking that question. Where is my attention required now? And you complete a task. Just say it's an email that needs to go out to your team. Next, you can finish that, and you keep saying the question. And the more you ask these questions, the more you will come into the space of being the question. And what that means is you function from the space of always in the knowing of, okay, where's my attention required next? There's so many, if we look at CEOs, and I'll tell you more about CEOs after the break. How does it get better than that?
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
When it comes to saving money, don't act like a baby.
Goo goo gaga.
Be the boss and make a budget.
I'm the boss, baby.
You're not the boss of me.
I am the boss of you.
Are not.
M2.
Are not.
M2.
Need a little help?
Aren't you going to do any work?
I'm very busy delegating.
Create a personalized savings plan.
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
And get other tools and tips at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Hi there, and welcome back to Joy of Business Radio on OMTimes Radio. I'm Maggie Schlarb, Joy of Business Facilitator and crazy adventurer. Before we left for the last break, I was just dropping the seed of talking about CEOs. And I've had the pleasure of talking with a few really successful CEOs, and I would say most CEOs are successful as they are in the position that they are, and asking them questions about, how do you keep track of everything? And having so many things in the go, employees, projects, finances, and everything else in between that CEOs do carry, and that I don't want to say weight, but they carry with them as their job. And with these conversations, what I discovered, and it's very much so what I was just talking about on the break, is having that heightened awareness of knowing where to be when, knowing what needs attention when, and trusting the inner intuition. So the questions if you're catching me and just on the break, you'll want to listen to the previous segment to catch some of the questions. But really, the questions you can ask is where's my attention required right now? And start to become that question, so that when you have so many things on the go as a business owner, even as someone as an employee, there are so many things on the go. Keep asking that question, and when you follow that your knowing, you will accomplish far more than a to-do list Now, that's a whole can of worms to the to-do list. So how many of you have a to-do list? And I know you're out there, but you can't respond unless you were to call in. So how many of you do have a to-do list? And does the to-do list contribute to you or not? And so here's the deal. When we're specifically talking about adventure, when you have an adventure, do you have a to-do list? Most likely not. I know my adventures don't have a to-do list. I just have an adventure and off I go. And I trust that everything I need I will have. Would you be willing to do that in business? It could be a tall order for you if you like things to be organized and you like your ducks in a row. What if it's possible to have both? Would you be willing to follow your intuition and adventure down the path of the unknown yet known? Little brain twister for you. All right, so moving on to I have 6 little things for you. So far we've done 4. We've looked at curiosity, we've looked at a heightened awareness of your environment and where to be, having a concept of where you're going but be flexible, self-empowerment, and now determination and willingness to achieve your vision. So a little something I wrote before, not before the show, but a while back. Every challenge is a gift in disguise and opens up more possibilities if you're willing to see them. So I'm going to say that again. So determination and the willingness to achieve your vision. Right? Every challenge is a gift in disguise and opens up more possibilities if you're willing to see them. Now here's an example from my adventure in cycle touring land. It was probably it was early on in the adventure, like probably in the first week. And we're cycling, and you can like feel the weather coming on. It's about to rain. We had pulled over. There was this lovely cafe, and we were having a little snack under the tree. And I definitely had a vision of staying dry that evening, and I really was determined to get to our destination before the rain started. So we could set up our tent, we could get everything inside, and oftentimes where we camped in New Zealand, there was actually also a building where you could cook and enjoy other people's company. And I was determined to get this place dry. Yet, I know at the time, if you had met me 3 years ago, I definitely was shy. So it wasn't easy for me to speak up at that point in time. Just a little side note for you. Anyway, so we're up here, and we get back on our bikes. I'm trying to rush us along, get my kiddo into his buggy, and all of a sudden, we have a flat tire. And not only is it a flat tire, it's on the back. So sometimes that, for me, to fix that flat tire, it requires a little bit more time. And so I'm starting to get myself stressed out. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm like, I'm going to trust that what I'm demanding, what I'm asking for is going to show up. So we're there fixing the flat tire. And along comes a woman who's like, hey, it looks like it's going to rain. She actually said it a little differently, but I don't think that's allowed on OMTimes radio, those words. But so she comes up and she's like, oh, it looks like it's going to rain. Do you guys want to take your bikes? I live just down the road. And we were being like shy and felt like, no, we don't want to impose. And she came back over probably 5-10 minutes later. She's like, are you sure your tires have fixed yet? Because what had to happen? So in that stress, we were trying to do it quickly, and then we actually did do a good job at fixing the tube. And so we had to keep going. And so she comes over again and says, hey, are you sure? And I just was feeling the bubble up of, yes, we want to come, but I couldn't do that. She came over one more time and said, you guys are coming with us, and bring your stuff. And it was just probably a quarter of a mile walk up this long driveway, and we got to put our stuff under a tent. And the moment that we put our stuff under the tent, guess what happened? It started to rain. So although we can't always control the weather, having that determination and willingness to achieve my vision of staying dry that night, having a dry sleep, came to fruition by my willingness to kind of see the gift and the possibilities, and to receive, even though I hesitated receiving the offer of staying at someone's land, it showed up. So another piece of that is your willingness to achieve your vision. one of the things is really, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to go out and do the work? Are you sitting and wishing and hoping it happens? If we were sitting and wishing and hoping something would happen on our adventure, we would just kind of look at our bikes. So for that analogy, are you just looking at your bike and waiting for it to pedal itself, or are you doing the work? And I'm not saying go out and work yourself hard and work yourself to the ground. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm asking and inviting is that, are you willing to go out and do the work that is required so that you can have the business and the lifestyle that you desire? And so I'm going to pull up the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. We use it in the Joy of Business as well. So everything that brings up, and it could be an energy, we're going to just clear that by saying right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And if you've never heard that before, please go to theclearingstatement.com. And or if you find the Joy of Business book, you'll find it in there in these explanation of that. And the book you can actually find on accessjoyofbusiness.com. And speaking of the book, all of the amazing Joy of Business facilitators and the Joy of Business team, Dazzle, if you will, are each getting together and we're doing a book club. And it's actually a gift to you. So I believe if you go to accessjoyofbusiness.com and then /book club, you can sign up to be a part of the conversation of Simone Milas's book, The Joy of Business. Each chapter will be facilitated by a different Joy of Business facilitator. Some of them you'll see twice. And they're going to be covering all kinds of things. So chapter 1, which I believe starts on October 5th. You still have time if you're listening in the future to listen to this, but just go to accessjoybusiness.com /book club. And the Dazzle, what we call the Joy Business team, is starting with how I got started in business. And so it's not a book club that is reading from the book. It is actually a book club that you get to be on live, ask questions, and each facilitator that will be there will speak to that subject. So you'll want to get yourself the book, probably. You can get it on audio or you can get it in print and start reading so that you can join up and meet with these phenomenal facilitators, including myself, and talk about how Simone got started in business, how the Joy of Business was created. And then it goes on to talk about what are you willing to receive, doing business without judgment. Every question creates possibility, which we've been talking about today. And it goes on and on. There are 24 chapters. So there will be 24 different hangouts with different facilitators that you can hop on and really get to know not only the Joy of Business, the book, Simone, but the global Joy of Business facilitators as well. So that's another adventure you can hop on if you choose. So back to the adventures in business and Are You an Adventurous Entrepreneur? The final piece that I have to speak about, well, it might actually be surprising for some, it might not be, but what it is engaging your body daily, moving your body daily, and include that in the creation of your business, in the adventure of business and your life. Now, why is that? Well, what is money for? What are you doing business for? Are you doing it so you can feed yourself? Are you doing it so you can drive a beautiful car? Are you doing it to create a difference on the planet for the other bodies on the planet? So if you didn't have a body, would you need to have a business or money? My sense is no. So including your body in your everyday today is a brilliant way to expand what is available to you with business. Now, Dane here says, Simone says, Dr. Dane here says, and Simone says, money follows joy. Joy does not follow money. Some of you might already know that moving your body is joyful. Some of you may not. Here's the invitation for you. For the next few days, lots of invitations for you today. For the next few days, what I invite you to do is start looking at the possibility of including your body in your business, whether that's adding more movement or taking a business partner on a walk for a meeting instead. You will find that moving your body helps with your mental focus. It can release any pent-up stress if you have any. It creates and energizes, and then it also creates this space of awareness. So whenever I am sensing and feeling a place of stuckness with my business, I get up and I move. And sometimes that means a 5-minute dance break. Sometimes that means an hour-and-a-half hike. It really depends on me asking the question of what's going to create the most for myself, my body, and my business. But I do it. And every time I do it and I move my body and I can include my body in my day, it gets better and better. So how many ways can you include your body in your day? Is it that you need a different chair? So here's the other piece. Is it that you need a different chair so that your body is comfortable? Do you get to the end of your workday and instead of being energized and you have the rest of your evening to adventure and play, if you end early enough for that to occur, is your body exhausted or is your body energized? And I'll say more about that after the break.
Feed your soul with Waves of Consciousness on OMTimes Radio.
Humanity Healing International is a small nonprofit with a big dream. Since 2007, HHI has been working tirelessly to bring help to communities with little or no hope. Our projects are not broad mandates, nor are they overnight solutions, but they bring the reassurance that no one is alone and that someone cares. To learn more, please visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Have you been searching for a perspective beyond the mainstream? Check it out. Join your hosts Cielito Pascual and Diana Gold Holland on Share International Radio for thought-provoking views behind the news, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio. You can also find us at shareontheairradio.org. This may be the message of hope you've been waiting for.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Hi there, and welcome back to the Joy of Business Show on OMTimes Radio. This is Maggie Schlarb, Joy of Business Facilitator, Adventurer, Creator, and all that jazz. And what we finished off with, we left you on a cliffhanger, as Rebecca also does in his shows, is that that piece of moving your body, including your body in the creation of your business. And it really is, to some it is obvious, and to some it is like, what do you mean? And when you move your body, it moves the stuckness. If there's any stuckness in your body, in your business, there might actually be stuckness in your body. And if you move your body, it could open it up. So just a simple walk of stepping away from the environment, the similar environment, can spark new ideas. I know for me, when I go for walks and adventures outside, I always bring a notepad with me because that's when my ideas and inspirations, and oftentimes my favorite creations come into my head, or knowing, should I say, when I'm on the move, when I'm moving. So for some of you, if you play with yoga, it might be having a notepad so that you don't have to get up from your yoga mat, or you could. It's a total choice. You can have a notepad as the ideas come to mind as you're flowing through your downward dog or you're sitting in your meditative space, whatever it may be. Go ahead and invite your business to be a part of the joy of moving your body. And one of the ways I do that is I will look at my day. So I am a single mama, and I have my own business. And it could be thought of that I have way too much to do to accomplish and include my body. But what I know to be true for me, and you can ask for yourself what's true for you. But I know it to be true for me that moving my body daily is pretty much a non-negotiable. Now, there is question in there because there are some days when my body just wants to walk to the coffee shop. And most days my body, I have a more expansive, more joyful, more productive day if there is movement in there. And so what I do, and for those of you who are very busy or, you have kids at home or you're a single parent and going out in the morning or, their kids get up before you and they wake you up, take a look at your day. And it may be a daily thing of looking, okay, well, what time is available for me to work out, to move my body? Now, it might be something you have to schedule in to your day. If your day gets really busy, I invite you to try this out and see if your energy changes, if your business grows. It may not be linear. And if you're happier, you're healthier, your business will thrive more. How does it get better than that? So I wanted to tell you, I have a couple of things coming up in the next few weeks. And one of the things is a Zoominar where we're going to talk about getting out of your own way with business and money. How many ways do you get in your own way with business and money? I wonder, and would you like to find out? So that will be this Thursday, September 21st. It'll be at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And you can go to maggieschlarb.com, MAGGIESCHLARB.com/JOB series. So Joy of Business series, but JOB series. And you will see that there is actually a series going on. So these are Joy of Business specialty classes that I have on the schedule. And so the first one is Thursday, as I said, getting out of your own way with business and money, and really looking at all those cute, not so bright spaces and places we just stop ourselves because we think we need to, or we're afraid of success, or whatever it may be. The next one is the following week is creating your own financial reality. And what an adventure that has been for me. As a side note, and this will be a totally different show, is I went from the bank of dad to the bank of husband to the bank of me. And I will tell you, it has been an adventure. There have been so many places where I'm like, didn't know that about money. Didn't know that about money. And now I'm at the place of, okay, cool. I'm tidying up the finances and how they come in and where they get organized. And I'm looking at investing now. How cool is that? So there are so many tools about creating your own financial reality, and we'll be diving on them on September 28th. And then the next one, which is the following week on October 5th, is 7 Easy Ways to Make Money. And 7 Easy Ways to Make Money is truly a silent, joyful class that really begs the question, can money really be easy? Well, yes. And there are 7, I think we actually, there's probably more than that. So show up and find out how many easy ways there are to make money. But that will be a 90-minute Zoominar. And these 3 calls, you can grab one on its own, or I have a special pricing if you want to jump into all 3. So again, that's maggieschlarb.com/Joy Business Series. And then right after that, following the 7 Easy Ways to Make Money, I have a telecall. So no matter where you are in the world, you could join me for the Access Business 101, Business Done Different, which is a 4-part telecall where we dive into all the juicy nuggets of Access Business 101, the first class, full day class. It actually isn't a full day. We're taking that full day and putting it over 4 parts. And we dive into, what is business, letting go of your expectations of what your business is so that you have a blank slate every day and the tools you use to that, and creating more revenue, creating more in your business, and having that elegance of least amount of work, most amount of productivity is the word I'm using today. So how does it get better than that? So on that note, we have a couple more minutes of this show, and I'm so grateful that you're here listening and willing to go on this adventure with me, because I will tell you, this is an adventure in itself, and a reminder to you of the elements of adventure that you can now bring into your business. So number one we started off with was curiosity, fostering an insatiable desire to explore and a yearning to discover what's around the next corner. How did we do that? We asked so many questions. How many questions can you ask today and be curious about all the different possibilities that are available for you and your business and your life? The next one we looked at was a heightened awareness of your environment. Where to be and when. Knowing where to go, knowing what you know, and following that with such beautiful intensity of the strength and courage and wherewithal within you that you know this is the business you're in, this is the job you're in, and you know what will create the most while staying in curiosity. And the next thing we talked about was having a concept of where you're going, but being flexible, knowing the destination and allowing for it to show up far greater than you can imagine, and also allowing for the little, life can happen. And how do you get around that? How do you overcome that? And again, bringing in that curiosity can fit into all of these. Self-empowerment. When things get challenging, remember, you are the creator of your life. No one else is going to create it for you. You are the creator. So how can you empower yourself moment by moment, day to day, that will create the now and the future you came here to have and to be? Mm-hmm. And then there's this determination and willingness to achieve your vision. I guess if you have a vision, and we did that beautiful energetic exercise to get the energy of that. Keep playing with that energy and notice what shows up and that matches that energy. And you'll know. Just play with it. You'll know. And know that every challenge is a gift in disguise and opens up more possibilities if you're willing to see them. So the questions you can ask there that I have not shared with you yet is, when things show up that aren't quite the way you think they should be, yet you're still in the desire to get to your vision, is like, what's right about this I'm not getting? What's the gift in this? And what contribution is this to me and my business? And watch what unfolds. And finally, engaging your body daily. Moving your body helps with mental focus. It releases pent-up stress and energizes and creates a greater sense of mindfulness. Mindfulness, and or I would also call that knowing, right? That intuitive knowing. So while you're here listening to these final moments of today's show, I invite you also to check out Rebecca Hulse and I did this really cool show on business on the move, which during that entire show, we actually were both moving and playing with having a conversation while moving, while paying attention to what was required. So you can listen to that for more tips and tricks on keeping your body engaging your body daily, and so that it can enhance your business in wonderful and wild ways. And if you want to know more about me, Maggie Schlarb, and where I came from, I actually am Canadian and now live in the States, you can visit maggieschlarb.com, and you can find out all about me and the ventures I am on. And then if you're looking for more Joy of Business, please visit accessjoyofbusiness.com. And you can also find both myself and the Joy of Business on social media, on Instagram. Hey, on a side note, go, if you're doing business somewhere wild and adventurous, or not so adventurous, take a picture, put it on social media, put business done where, hashtag business done where. The hashtag, if you don't know what that is, that's the £, hashtag business done where, no spaces, and we'll find you, and we'll get to see where you're adventuring with business. And you can also, particularly anywhere on Instagram or Facebook, you can find all the places and spaces that the Joy of Business team is adventuring around the world, because I don't know if I've ever met such a creative team of individuals and such an adventurous. So go visit them on, I believe, if you go to Instagram.com/Joy of Business, you will see all the crazy, wild, and beautiful adventures the Joy of Business facilitators and team get on. Until next time, have a beautiful, joyful day.